How are you today? Number 7. We're at step 7 of Louise Hay's Learning to Love Yourself. 10 steps to learning to love yourself. And like I've continued to say in the other 6 little videos that we've chatted through, I think all of us, each and every one of us has, even a little bit of space to bring some more self-love into our life. So number 7 is be kind to your negatives. Be kind to your negatives. I've listened to that portion of her audio several times over, and it kind of takes me to different thoughts, different areas of my own personal life. And she talks about how we are responsible for creating the patterns that we've created. And not only are we responsible, and not only is it unnecessary to beat ourselves up for the negative patterns that we've created, her whole point is that we've done it at a time and place in our life because it supported us. It supported us in what we needed at that particular time to get our needs met. So when you kind of look at things in that vein, I think it releases a little bit of pressure and a little bit of guilt, and maybe we don't feel so poorly about ourselves. Because I think each and every one of us can replay situations, events, circumstances, experiences that have happened with other people in our workplace, in our personal relationship, in our family, extended family, where there's been problems or something's happened, we haven't been very happy with the outcome or as the events have been unfolding. And we've either been angry at another person or angry at ourselves. And it's really easy to sit down and spend some time looking backwards and kind of thinking, I wish I'd said this, or I wish I'd said that, or, why did they do this, or why did they do that? And, then we feel badly about it. So be kind to your negative patterns. And she talks about releasing them. Acknowledging that you've had some negative patterns that are, that you're following or living through in your life. And once you become aware of them, that's one of the first steps, isn't it? Just to become aware and conscious of what you're doing. And then don't take any time to beat yourself up and feel poorly about it. Just acknowledge that you have those patterns and now you need to let them go. So release them with love. Accept the fact that you needed to meet those situations in the manner that you have had for various reasons. And the needs could be anything. The needs can be fear. Generally they are fear-based. But what are they around? What sort of feelings of inadequacy do you have in certain parts of your life? We all have them. Every single one of us. Doesn't matter how happy we are. Doesn't matter how fulfilled we are. It's just to varying degrees of what that part of your life is perhaps lacking, just a little bit. I heard something myself within the last couple of years that's really helped me. And the statement goes like this. We're doing the best we can in the moment we are with the resources we have. And I can't tell you how much that lightened the load of my own personal guilt and worry and stress and anxiety around things going on in my life. And if you kind of stop and think about it and kind of get your head around it, it's a really nice way to kind of acknowledge that really each and every one of us is doing the best we certainly can in any given moment. Hindsight, it's 2020, right? It's really easy for each of us to look back and think, well, why did I do that? What was I thinking? If I were to do that now, that same situation, that same circumstance, I would have a completely different response. But see, in that in itself is a way that we can beat ourselves up. And maybe not, huge amounts, but we go back and we criticize ourselves. We think, what kind of idea was that? What kind of harebrained idea was that? Or, why were you so angry? Or why were you so judgmental? Or why were you so insecure? Or why did you allow these people to treat you this way? Or that person to treat you this way? But we're always changing. That's the one thing that's a given in our lifetime. We're continually changing. And how exciting is that? How exciting is that? I can recall being in relationships with a person, and the person would say, you've changed, you've changed. And they would mean it in a way that was meant to push a button. It was meant in a way that would hurt, was intended to hurt, rather. I realize now, as my life has continued on, I was the one that allowed a comment like that to hurt me because of my own insecurities and my own lack of self-love. But it's not an insult. It's not a bad thing at all. Absolutely we're changing. Can you imagine if we never changed? Can you imagine if we started off from childhood and got to adulthood and nothing had ever changed? So we are changing. That's a really positive thing. So we can take that and we can transform it into each and every moment of our day, of our week, and of our month, as we go out through the year. So, releasing old patterns. When you do take time and something strikes a chord in you and you look backwards in your life, even if it's a day ago or a month ago or 6 years ago, and you look back on an old relationship, you look back on a situation, a job that you had, and you left or you were fired and it didn't go over as well as you thought it should have, it's really easy to sit back and think, well, gee, I don't know what I was thinking, or why I did this or why I did that. Or if somebody asks you a question, if they start to judge you, well, what were you thinking when you made that decision? You know what? You were doing the best you could in the time you could with the resources that you had at hand. And resources could extend to so many things. It could be your state of mind. It could be your emotions. It could be your health. It could be your finances. It could be the comfort in your home. It could be the clothing that you had available to you. It could be the food you had available to you. It could be health issues related to people in your family that are around you. It could be lack of having support from family and friends. So, there's no point in turning backwards and beating yourself up. You did the best you could at that time. And when we look backwards and we reflect on situations, we're different people. The circumstances around us at this present time and this present moment, when we look backwards, are completely different. So obviously our decisions right now would be different. The patterns that we had when we were staying in that nasty relationship for so long that made us feel poorly about ourselves, or we allowed it to make us feel poorly about ourselves, whatever the situation was, whether it's around your health and your nutrition, whether you're eating a little bit too much, not exercising enough, you're doing the best you can. Those patterns are supporting you one way or another. So don't be hard on yourself. Acknowledge it, release it, and make another positive choice. Make an extra step, a different direction. Bringing new and positive patterns into your life as one of the steps towards getting closer to loving yourself more and more, towards getting to be more confident, more self-esteem. So let go of the old pattern, release it with love. Don't judge yourself for it. You were doing the best that you could in the time that you did with the resources that you had. Today's a new moment. Right now, right in this instant, is a new moment. So take a couple of minutes. When you finish watching this video, take a couple of minutes, sit down, think about some situations that have happened to you in the last short while that you've been unhappy about. Look back, reflect, decide what negative pattern is supporting you. What can you change? What can you change to make better to support yourself in a much more loving and supportive way that appreciates the beauty and gifts of who you are? Thanks for stopping in and listening to me. I'm Nancy Battye, PureBeautyLifestyle.com. Come and check out some of our extraordinary products. Come and check us out and see what we can do to aid you in your journey. Make your day fabulous.